22 days ago was the last day of my university education. I came home and decided to play a little game of memory. I looked across my bookmark list. Links, mostly which I once visited, and maybe after reading the first paragraph, decided it would be a crime to read it now. Perhaps later, when I can give it the right attention, when the bed is warm, and at least in some background music. Not today, not now. The habit, which I still have and which contributed in the change of the starting line of this video from this to this. The rule of the game was to think of exactly when I saved the particular link, how many years ago, at what time of the university. The list was very long and I went further up and found links I saved before even joining the university. Links from 5-6 years ago. A Girl I Knew is a short story written by JD Salinger that appeared in Good Housekeeping magazine in 1948. I read the story because one day I was just randomly searching for the most beautiful lines and paragraphs in literature and came across one such Reddit thread. You may know that quote already. She wasn't doing a thing I could see except standing there, leaning on a balcony railing, holding the universe together. I read the story and thought it was good, and it was good that I was reading something because I wanted to be a writer and I had a low attention span and a brain that demanded quick stimulation with low effort. Stories needed to be quick and to the point. Movies needed to be fast and full of action. The filter which disallowed works such as of Dostoevsky and Yasujiro Ozu, and only allowed content similar to Marvel movies. I bookmarked the link. I put that quote as my favorite quote on my Facebook profile. I didn't click it again until 22 days ago. It was the first time I read such an eloquent description of someone with so little words. For me, falling in love with Lee was one of the easiest things as far as movies and books characters are considered. How could you not? When she sat down, she did the only sensible thing with her beautiful hands there was to be done. She placed them on her lap and left them there. Her polite thank you instead of thank you. Her being a sincere daughter to her father instead of father. Her singing a song and saying, "Don't leave without me," instead of without me. Her innocence, which was too much for the room, and the only way to overcome it was to either talk of it or to open the windows. But the story isn't really about any romance, because there isn't. The narrator himself says that we just never said anything to each other. Over a period of 4 months, we have talked for 30 or 35 evenings without saying a word. And he even goes far to write that, if I should go to hell, I'll be given a little inside room, in which all my conversations with Lee will be played back to me, over an amplification system confiscated from Yankee Stadium. Lee was totally just a girl he knew, in the truest meaning of the word knew, because maybe, like he wrote, I consistently hesitated to risk letting the thing we had together deteriorate into a romance. I don't know anymore. I used to know, but I lost the knowledge a long time ago. A man can't go along indefinitely carrying around in his pocket a key that doesn't fit anything. I don't have a girl I knew, like the narrator John. I don't have a city that has turned into a girl, but this story is so special to me because I read it when I was just starting out, the time when I had no knowledge of how's the future going to be. And now, after being in that future and rereading it, it has become a totally new story and a relevant one. Lee was the first person of such beauty and innocence that struck the narrator. And he only knew her, he couldn't embrace her, touch her, spend time with her in a sense it mattered enough. With the metaphor of Lee, I reflect on my childhood and the past time, when everything was simple and pulsing with innocence and beauty, when the sky was much lower, when dreams were alive, contrary to now, when the worldview has crumbled and everything has turned into just an insignificant and fading memory. After John went to Paris, he didn't write back to Lee, although he had told to. He forgot her. But when the war started in Europe, John started thinking about her. And when he used to see the photos in the newspaper, he used to fiddle here and there. He wasn't the type of person who just sits and does nothing. He didn't have Lee's address and even her married name. He tried to gather the information, but there was no link. But eventually, he returned back to Venice as he had gotten a job in army intelligence. There, he went to the same old house, same apartment where once he used to live. He goes again to the window and looks down for a moment at the balcony, where Lee, now dead, had once stood, holding the universe together. Lee and her family were burned in an incinerator. She had turned into just a question as such. Yeah, what was she, a Jew or something? A question phrased in such indifference for many. But for John, she was someone important. Not important in a way he can show to the world, but important enough by how much gravity the word new can possess. I do now reflect on my days in the university, my days in school and college, places where I grew up. The continuous education that started when I was 4 years old has officially ended, and with it has ended the only link to my childhood, except the fact that I am the same person. I am growing old and distant. Time is passing fast, blurring everything. Like John at the end, I am also standing where I used to be and looking at places where once something I knew stood, something which once was very alive and innocent and holding the universe together.